Alright, hello and welcome to, just another random video, because I honestly do not know what to upload. But I've been meaning to make this one for a while now, because I went back and looked at some of my old videos, and I noticed one video, was a little outdated compared to now. Now, I say outdated, but really it wasn't too outdated, I felt like at least now it would be a good time to do a new one for many reasons, but we'll just get into it. So this video was essentially, as the title and thumbnail will suggest, they're all WWE, but just wrestling championships I've collected. Now, I have thought about buying championships from other promotions, however, they're a little bit difficult to find online, especially at good prices, and also, it just feels like, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of stuff like AEW or Impact or Ring of Honor or all that, but I feel like, I don't follow it and watch it enough to feel like I need to get this stuff. It kind of just feels, I wouldn't say wrong, but just I feel like I don't need to get titles like that, especially if I don't exactly follow too much of the history. Growing up, I did watch it as back when it was known as TNA, but thinking about it, I just feel like there's no reason. Who knows what the future may hold, but for now, as I'm going to show, all I've really bought are WWE ones. So, without further ado, let's move on to the first ever belt I bought. And that one is the NXT Championship. Now, this is a commemorative belt from the actual WWE shop. Now, I got this because at the time, belts were on a sale. And I got the commemorative because it was the cheapest I was willing to pay. I cannot remember for the life of me how much it cost. I want to believe it's anywhere under $400. So, again, if I was willing to save up, I could buy the bigger belts, but I feel like at some point, I don't care about the price. I just want to get a belt, as you'll see later down the line with some of these belts. Now, but again, this is the only belt I bought from an official website, the official WWE shop. And I always wanted to get the NXT because at the time, and even now, but mainly at the time, my favorite wrestler was Tommaso Ciampa, and the whole story of him calling his title Goldie, going from a neck injury and coming back and eventually winning the title again. It's one of my favorite, ways of it, one of my favorite wrestlers who have just, as far as the storyline with the title has gone, is one of my favorites for this championship. Now, again, so this is a commemorative, and another thing to even prove is on the back of it, it's got the official, authentication sort of patch, as well as, the little holographic sticker. But yeah, this is a commemorative, so it's plastic, very light, and I still have an issue with the strap being way too thick to, be bendy in that. But regardless, this was from the WWE shop. Still one of my favorite titles, and I was happy to have finally got this for the first time. So, I have thought about getting a replica, but then I thought to myself, I don't want to replace this. This is like a memory for me. It's the first ever championship I've ever bought in my entire life. So it holds a lot more meaning than any of these ones are going to come up. So, moving on, I delved into eBay looking for a cheap title, which I came across. However, of course, with eBay comes the whole me delving into the world of cheap secondhand belts, which is why we're going to be looking at next, the 24/7 Championship. Now, I'm probably one of the only people, not really the only, but one of the very few percent who actually love this title. Now, I know they've done shit with it, and the storylines are, like, just, they not as good. The only real decent thing to come out of it was anything R-Truth was in, because he made it feel, like, despite the fact it felt like a title just for him, it was just a lot of stuff they did with it. But as far as the simple design goes, I wanted to get it. Now, I did get this from eBay, so unfortunately, there were many problems. For one, the strap. This isn't the actual strap from, you know, that the WWE shop used. It's a little thicker, definitely not the same pattern. The little golden tip at the end is just stuck on and not even properly. And it came with a lot of dents, like, there's a dent right there that it's been there since I got it. And of course, even the plate design is a lot more flat compared to the 3D-ish effect the real one gives. As well as, you know, a lot of errors, like that paint error there. But again, I chose to go on eBay because if I had bought you can't get a commemorative of the 24/7. And if I had bought the replica on the WWE shop, it would have cost me almost 3 times what I would on eBay for this. And again, I just wasn't willing to save up for it. I just wanted something. So it is metal. That's one thing I was happy about. And the strap is a lot more flexible, which I love, as well as the fact that the back of it, although with no sticker, it's got padding, which I think is great, as well as a curve. I love curves. Curves on a title are my favorite thing. But again, it is cheap. It does look kind of gross up close, but again, I was still happy because it was a metal title. It was something I was happy to do anyway. So there's that one. I'm just going to fix this up a bit. Oh boy, that was loud. Next up, so just like the NXT Championship, this belt just goes to show my favorite, when it was considered a brand at the time, was NXT. Now again, just like the NXT Championship with Tommaso Ciampa, this next title was held by 2 of my favorite wrestlers, Johnny Gargano and eventually Damian Priest, which is not long after when I thought about getting this title. And it's the North American Championship. Now, again, I got this from eBay, so the strap is not the same as the TV accurate one, which I'll admit, I love the TV accurate one because I just think the fact the strap is just some big round thinger made it look great. However, I did still get this because, again, North American Championship is, I'd say, my second favorite championship. Number 1 is always going to be the NXT Championship. Number 3 for me is going to be the Intercontinental Championship. Ironically, a belt I do not have, but we'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, I love the design. NXT's championships, in my opinion, really gave the idea that they were from NXT. It was known as the Black and Gold brand back then, and these titles, apart from this strap, these titles were exactly what it said, the Black and Gold brand. And again, gorgeous looking belt. I love the globe design, you know, the side plates, despite these being ones that you can't take off, as like the rest are. Love it. And again, the change of the belt color. I feel like belts having a black strap, every belt has a black strap. I hate it. It sucks. A belt like this, though, made it look gorgeous because it didn't have a black strap. That's another reason why I love it. So, and again, I got this because it's the NXT North American Championship. So again, just giving it the idea that it's that brand. Moving on, I got this title for 2 reasons. Number 1, it was cheap. It was, at the moment, my second cheapest, but at the time, the cheapest belt. And secondly, I got it because it was meant to be a thing for me to get as a way to compare for when I show off my next title. But for now, I'll show it off. It is the United States Championship. Now, I was very surprised with this belt because it was from, again, eBay secondhand, whatever. But this thing is actually gorgeous. Like, when I pulled it out and looked at it, it's got scuff now because I kind of don't have a place to display my belts. So they're stacked on top of each other, sitting somewhere, which is a bad idea because a lot of them now have pieces of paint missing. But I don't really have another idea for it. But again, this title was great when I got it because it, again, nice sort of, curve for the thing. The metal felt really good. The design looked really good. The strap, although feeling a little more styrofoamy, does look better in my opinion. And again, it was the cheapest belt I ever bought at the time, which, again, would, the cheaper you buy, the more you're going to be disappointed. But I was not disappointed with this. I thought it was great for what I paid for. So, yes. And now moving on to the belt that eventually gave to that idea. So, around the time I believe I got the North American Championship, I ended up saving up for and buying a custom belt that I customized. Wouldn't say customized myself. I did get the idea from a YouTuber, and if you want to know about that, go back to the video I did for this title when I show it, and I'm fairly certain I put them in the description from where I got the belt and the YouTuber. But for now, the reason why I got that title is because of this title, my custom championship, the Australian Championship. Now, again, I'm Australian, so I got this for that simple reason. Now, obviously, all it is just the United States Championship, but with Australian on it, as it shows there. But it's much more thicker and weightier than the other belts I've got. These are all like 2mm plating. This one was like a 4. I think it's a 4 or 5mm plating. Like, it's thick, much thicker. It's got a curve on it, which I love, and at the same time, it's also got my name right here, which is one reason why I got this. And again, I gave it a blue strap because it's, Australian Championship. I wanted to get a different colored strap, and honestly, again, I paid a lot of money for this title. It's the most expensive title I've bought. Buying one of these is how much it would have cost me to get a title from a replica from the WWE shop. I want to say more because the shipping over there is just a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure a third of what I paid for the NXT Championship was shipping itself. So I'm still glad I got this because it's a custom championship. It's got my name on it. The design I wanted. It's weightier and it feels worth every cent I spent. And I'm happy I've got it. Now, at some point during my belt collection, I did technically buy a belt probably way before that. It was the Hardcore Championship. However, I didn't include it in this video compared to the last because, as I mentioned then, and when I did the unboxing, I bought it for my brother. So I didn't want to, despite the fact I paid for it, I didn't want to include it in here because it's his championship. I bought it for him, it's his, I did show it last time because I had like 4 wrestling belts, that was it. But I didn't include it here because I wanted to give off the whole thing of these are my championships. So, moving on to the last and most recent, and one that, again, I chose specifically for a reason. So, yes, this championship's kind of iffy. Like, when it was first introduced, no one was sure of it. Then Brock Lesnar had it for so long, it got boring. Now Roman Reigns has it, and a lot of people are giving it the same idea. However, I got this belt and this color specifically because of Bray Wyatt when he had the title. When he won the title, he did the whole thing of changing the color to what this is, which is why I got it. And that is the Universal Championship. Now, I mentioned before, I think the the heavyweight championship it's just plain, like, same design but a black strap. It just feels like a plain belt. Like, for so long, it's just, that's what I feel like the main championship has been. It's just a black strap with gold on the front, and that's it. So the Universal was one I loved more because when it was red and it was the Universal Championship, it still looked different, but it still felt like just a strap with a logo on it. But with this one, I like the blue design is much cooler. It makes the red for the W pop out a lot more, in my opinion, and they definitely updated it a little bit more to be much more like gemmy and great looking. So that's why I'm always going to like the Universal. And again, although Bray did have two, one for the Fiend and one for him, I'll always love when he had this championship. And again, yeah, just I love it. Like, the red pops out a lot more on here than if it was a red strap, because it just felt like part of it. So yeah, that's really the titles I have. I really need to think of a new thing, because I'm looking at these titles and a lot of paint's being chipped off. That's not good. I don't want, these titles being nothing. Like, I want them looking good, but excuse me, I'll figure that out when I get there. Now, again, in my last video, I mentioned I wasn't completely sure if that was all the titles I wanted. Now, I've come to the end now to realize there is one championship that I technically want to buy. After that, I feel like I'm content and happy with every title I've got. I feel like that, I got most of these titles for a reason. Each one has a reason on why I got it, whether it be a wrestler or just me growing up. The next title is a similar reason, and the title is the white-strapped Intercontinental Championship. Now, I say that for three reasons. Number one, the white strap, in my opinion, although it's just the opposite of black, to me it made the title look great. It looked amazing. Second is, design-wise, I think it looked great. It looked different enough to be its own title and just stand out a lot. And the third reason is, technically, when I first thought about buying championships, I was actually tossing between the NXT commemorative or the Intercontinental commemorative. Now, I did go with NXT, but it's taken me till now to kind of realize I never did go back on that Intercontinental. So I feel like the way to end my championship collection is to get the title that originally gave me the idea. So in a month, I feel like at least I should have either thought of or have been in the process / bought a title. Now again, I want to try and find one that's within my price range. So that really depends on if I can find one in the price range whether or not I get it done quicker. But just like with my lightsabers, I said I was content until when I got a NeoPixel. Now, although I am, don't get me wrong, I do want to get my number one favorite character's lightsaber, which is Starkiller. However, if I can find a baselit for his, I will be happy just with that, because as long as it's just got something, I feel like it would be still great. But again, at the moment, my next thought of purchase is an Intercontinental Championship. So, I don't know when that'll be. Maybe I'll announce it in a future video, but for now, that's all I've got. These have been my replica championships, and that's really all I can think of. So thank you for watching, if you did. Hopefully this is still a fun video regardless. I know I have an idea for the thumbnail, which is going to be cringy as fuck, but it was a photo I took a couple days ago, which would be perfect for a video like this. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, like, sub, do whatever, and I do hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.